Yesterday, Brian Mast, a congressman from Florida, he is a veteran. He fought in Afghanistan. He stepped on an IED and lost both of his legs. He's such a hero and a patriot. He was there on the House floor, and this is what he had to say to his colleagues.
On January 6th, thousands broke the law by taking siege of our Capitol here with us inside. Has any one of those individuals who brought violence on this Capitol been brought here to answer whether they did that because of our president? It appears I will receive no answer. I will yield my time back to the gentleman from Ohio.
Pretty powerful. Let's bring in retired Army Ranger, Florida GOP Congressman Brian Mast. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. What was the message you were trying to send there? What were you asking for? And then you did that 27 seconds of awkward pause just to prove the point. And you heard a few people saying no in the background.
The message was simple. You have 430 plus members of Congress. They're responsible for making the highest laws in the land that pertain to all Americans. And they're about to vote one way or another on whether the president incited other people to do something. And there wasn't one of those members that could say they had heard any questioning of the people that were said to be incited. Nobody was asked, did you do this because the president? Did you do it because of something he said a year ago or something somebody else like Giuliani said on January 6th? Did you go there because of the president, but violence was your own thing? Did he tell you to be peaceful? Nobody can say that they spoke to one of those individuals. And that's got to be the most dangerous precedent for this body to set, to say, if you're an American out there, this is how we're going to hold you accountable for inciting somebody else. We're not going to bother to ask any questions at all. We're just going to jump to a conclusion and rush to judgment. So that is wholly un-American, wholly in opposition to the due process that every American is owed. And I think it was wrong.
So that your moment of silence and your question incensed Jake Tapper. He asked this question of you.
We have video, and I was just watching it as they were starting this vote, of the people who were storming the Capitol saying, the president told us to come here.
Right.
That is happening. I mean, that is video. There's video of this. It is just Exhibit A of the reams of evidence that we have. There's one other thing I want to share.
But just one other thing, that's relevant. What you're saying right now is relevant because Congressman Brian Mast, a Republican from Florida, who lost his legs, by the way, fighting for democracy abroad, although I don't know about his commitment to it here in the United States. He said, did anybody say that?
So what was your answer? When did you hear about this? And what was your answer? I know you answered on Twitter, you said, and then he answered you. But first, your response here.
Look, the response is this. Okay, the president told you to come to the people's house. Did he tell you to do it violently, or did he tell you to go there and cheer people on, or what? But it's worth getting to the bottom of before you rush to judgment. And that's the foundation of democracy. And I'm going to say to Mr. Tapper the same thing that half of America is saying right now. Hold me to a high standard. Don't hold me to a double standard. And me asking if any of these lawmakers that are about to vote have gone through any questioning, any hearings, have asked any questions of anybody, that's an appropriate question. And it speaks to the foundation of our democracy. It doesn't diminish it. And I would give this statement to him as well. It is not as important in America, especially today with all the division that we have, that I say, this is what I think about you. We got to get to the point that we're saying, this is why I think something. Now, I can say, this is why I think you're wrong, and we can have a real debate And hopefully you end up learning something about each other instead of just coming away with two people that are pissed off at one another.
Yeah. And I'm sure, Congressman, you would defend Jake Tapper's right to say anything he wants to. And he said that about you. But the last part of it, he was questioning your commitment to democracy. How do you feel about that?
I could say this emotionally. My commitment to democracy, to my country, is unwavering. I love this place so much. It literally breaks my heart to see the divide that exists in it. I love our democracy. For all of our problems, there is no government that I would rather be a part of anywhere in this world. And to strengthen that and keep it strong, we have to ask those questions. It's not the opposite of that, where we don't ask those questions. Don't ask lawmakers, did you take the time to ask somebody or interview somebody or have a hearing? That has to be the foundation of having justice, is asking questions and waiting for the answer in silence until somebody gives it to you, or taking their silence as an answer. And that's my response to him. I love this place.
Congressman Eric Swalwell was interviewed by PBS, and he compared our current president, President Trump, to Osama bin Laden. Listen to this.
Osama bin Laden did not enter U.S. soil on September 11, but it was widely acknowledged that he was responsible for inspiring the attack on our country. And the president, with his words, using the words fight, with the speakers that he assembled that day who called for trial by combat and said we have to take names and kick. I'm comparing the words of a individual who would incite and radicalize somebody, as Osama bin Laden did, to what President Trump did.
What are your thoughts?
I would think that somebody who sits on the Intelligence Committee would take the time to know the history of our enemies, and that Osama bin Laden didn't seek just to inspire individuals. He was an individual that literally planned the attacks in Kenya and Tanzania and the USS Cole bombing and 9/11 and others. He was a planner of attacks, and that's what he's likening the president to, which is totally inaccurate. Again, without any questioning, to continue on the last train of thought, it's absolutely wrong for him to do this. And again, he's just working to try to incite more division in this country.
And it's amazing. Where was Eric Swalwell or Jake Tapper when you were walking out of the RNC at the White House and you were surrounded by attackers and rioters who are in your face threatening you? We've all seen that video, right? Remember that.
But this is the whole point. Again, this is what all of America is saying right now, or at least half of America. Hold us to a high standard, hold our democracy to a high standard, hold our Congress definitely to a high standard, but don't hold us to a double standard. Right. And that's what people have seen throughout this media cycle through the last years. And when, you make a comparison saying, yeah, maybe this happened with the election this year, or maybe it didn't. But for you to chastise members of Congress for wanting to ask questions, when you could say a couple of years ago, every member of the Congressional Black Caucus voted against certifying elections, but you have nothing to say about them, don't hold us to a double standard. Be fair about what you're saying and how you're questioning the process of America. That is the basis of our system, that we have a level playing field. That's what our Bill of Rights ensures for every one of us, that when you wake up in America, you have that level playing field regardless of where you wake up.
And you woke up today down in your home district down in Florida. And you left behind Washington, D.C., where it is pretty much a lockdown camp. And I was talking to some people who work on Capitol Hill. They are actually relieved to see 20,000 guardsmen there. These are images from inside the visitor center. Thousands of people. There are going to be 20,000 there by the time the inauguration rolls around. And I saw some images of you actually essentially giving a little tutorial, there you are right there, on the history of the Capitol Rotunda. And there you are, I think, pointing up at Brumidi's murals at the top, giving a tour to the guys.
This was truly, for me, one of the most educational experiences for myself and my life. I went down, I saw all of these heroes of our country. They're sleeping on the floors. Some of them are not sleeping. They're up, they're drinking a coffee. This is, 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'm speaking to a bunch of them, thanking them for what they're doing. And what I was amazed to hear out of all of them was how many of them were telling me, probably 95% of them were telling me, it was their first time ever to the Capitol.
Wow.
I couldn't believe that. I was astounded to hear that.
Protecting
and so
them.
as I'm talking to them, I get to their commander and their sergeant major. I say, listen, all of these folks are saying it's their first time here. I'd love to take any of them around that would like to have a tour and learn about the place that they're asked to come here and defend. Come here and know what it is that you're actually defending, because a lot of them didn't know what they were there defending. Right. And I would give this message to those guardsmen who I love and to all Americans. Come to Washington and experience your government and the people's house and the center of democracy in our country and witness it for your own eyes. If you come there, I'll take your kids that are under 18 onto the floor of the House of Representatives, because that's something that I can do. I do it all the time. But come witness that and really experience what your government is all about and know what it is that you're fighting for and trying to defend.
That's beautiful. Maybe wait another week before you go down there, though. Thank you so much, Congressman. We appreciate it.
I wish you all the best.
Thanks, you too. God bless you.